Hey guys, what is going on? As I'm sure you're all aware, Phase 1 IEM Sydney over Astralis. And we're going to focus today on the fact that Carrigan and Rain were very good, particularly on overpass, and applying this constant pressure to Astralis so they couldn't be fully confident when setting up those executes, which we know they love to do. And we're going to see the very first example right now on the very first gun round. Astralis win the pistol in the 2 rounds following that. But Rain's going to apply a lot of pressure here, getting up and aggressive towards the fountain area, as we know he loves to do. He's very good at playing this position, getting 1 or 2 kills, hiding around this fountain. Very similar to Fur. I've actually got a video on that, so if you want to watch that first, it might actually make a little more sense as the kind of movements Rain can make. But if he doesn't see anyone on occasions, Rain does keep pushing here and get more and more information for Faze and trying to work out what the other team's up to. And you'll see he gets the timing perfect on this one, just as the player's falling away from Astralis. And you see what this does to the rotations from Faze. They start to move over here towards the B site. Guardian starts to head his way over here. Because Rain says, fellas, there's no one here. You can just go to B. Unless they all come up connector, which is very unlikely. We've got this round on lock. And Rain keeps pushing till he finds the one player, and then he backs away. And notice right now you can see on the map, this executor's coming from Astralis. They've got heaven smoked, sight smoked here. And you can see, even see on your screen right now, all those orange lines across is the execute coming in from Astralis. And this one kill that Rain gets onto Zipex applies so much mental pressure to Astralis that they end up splitting up. Because Dupree and Device decided we can't be confident pushing in here towards the B site with someone sneaking around here behind us. We need to try and find this player. So what this does is it completely segregates the Astralis offense. They end up pushing into site here, potentially even a 2v4, probably more like a 2v3. Guardian's not quite there yet, but you can see they have a man disadvantage on the T side pushing into a site. So they've got a 2v3 as opposed to a 4v3 potentially. And on the minimap, you can see Rain backs away. And the great thing about this is because he wastes so much time for Dupree and Device. They have to come all the way back here, and they don't win the fight anyway. Rain still wins the fight overall, but notice the fact that they make those 2 players run all the way back here and push up to here. Whereas if Rain, after getting this call into Zipex, gets over hungry, wants more and more frags, he starts pushing in here, trying to maybe come all the way through Monster. It's much easier for Dupree to just turn around, potentially get a kill this way, and then the take is back on for Astralis. So Rain does 100% the right thing here, backing away, trusting his teammates to lock down the B site. And then after he gets those 2 kills, the round's basically done. But he falls back even further, low HP, probably wants to try and keep his M4. Glaive decides to hunt him down. But even with Rain getting hunted down here, it applies a lot of pressure again to Glaive, because Faze can now be absolutely anywhere on the map. So even though Rain gets taken out, notice Guardian's moving around, Carrigan's back into connector. Nika's going to be on with the kill, but notice he can get into a very aggressive and just a very powerful angle with this AWP for when Glaive does try and come back here towards Monster. And it's a nice flick by Nico, but honestly, not the hardest shot in the world. And you just see this pressure this all applies, just this one kill, then backing away. Rain plays this perfectly, and this also plays a very important factor throughout the game entirely. And we'll see how Faze reacts, or not Faze, sorry, Astralis reacts in future rounds as well. Now, if you're Astralis, you're probably a little bit annoyed about that. You did have someone watching the T stairs, and Rain pretty much hits the nail on the head with his timing. But when it happens 2 times in a row is when you start to be a little bit more concerned, and it becomes a bit more of a mental factor for Astralis moving forward towards the rest of the game. This round actually starts off very well for Astralis. They end up getting the first 2 initial picks. They end up trapping Guardian quite well up here towards the party area, molotoving him off, spamming him down. Rain tries to get some kind of trade going on, and they take him out as well. So you're thinking right now, with a 5v3, we're in a great position to win this round. That's actually not the case in this one. Carrigan going to pull off a flank of his own, this time through the connector area as opposed to T-spawn. The Rain's already gone down, so it can't be the same player. And Carrigan does a great job here. He knows we're in a 3v5, we need some kind of information, and Carrigan takes it upon himself as the in-game leader to go looking for this information. Either he's going to go down in a round that's almost already lost in a 5v3, or he's going to get information, set up Exist and Nico to have a better chance at holding off the other side. And you can see exactly what's going on right now. Exist starts to move over here as the take comes in. Notice, as this take does come in, Carrigan starts to run because he gets the call from the rest of his teammates. Hey, they're executing here. We've got smokes coming in, we've got flashes coming in, flash popping here, and we're not really in position. So Carrigan runs, gets his timing beautifully, and takes out 2 players a little bit late onto the sites. That's 2 rounds in a row right now where someone from Faze has called off these players just as they're trying to execute onto the B side itself. And Carrigan, again, a little bit different to Rain. He doesn't back off straight away. He does still compose himself after those first 2 kills, throws a good nade over without exposing himself to short where someone swinging back quickly might be worried about. And he jumps out here into short. Again, very different to Rain, doesn't back off completely. He wants to keep applying this pressure and really lock Astralis into this site. So again, slight differences between him and Rain, but both of them are pretty well played overall. You can see Nico and Exist in a great position here. He jumps out, and basically this round's over right now. He just locks down this site. Exist and Nico are going to lock this one down. Exist with some nice peeks. Nico as well, he's in there peeking off each other. Just great teamwork overall. Carrigan doesn't need to move an inch. He just wants to lock this down. Doesn't want to swing out, potentially give Dupree this opening. But instead you can see he's very aware that Dupree could be moving around here. Again, predicting some kind of movement from Dupree. Dupree, you can see he had to check back towards Monster right now. He's not sure, is Carrigan going to peek himself up? What's going on here? You can see, again, just mental pressure. No one needs to peek right now. Everyone being very disciplined from Faze. The take comes in. I love this from Carrigan. The footstep fake. He fakes Dupree thinking he might be peeking him as the bomb's trying to come down. And then backs off completely. Doesn't want Dupree to maybe come back up here. Flashes himself, so if Dupree is peeking him, that's just an easy cleanup for Carrigan. So well played overall. I love the little footsteps by fake if you haven't seen that before. Someone's playing the bomb. Just make a few little running steps. I'll probably get off the bomb thinking you're about to peek him. Then you can just back away, such as Carrigan did. So 2 rounds in a row you've been flanked going for a B execute. So as Astralis, you naturally start to think, okay, maybe Faze are playing very aggressive in this one. Maybe we need to start just slowing things down, holding our angles. You can see, for this one they send Device over here. They want no one getting aggressive, such as we saw Rain doing. Glaive's holding off Connect, and everyone's in a very standard kind of default, obviously a 3-1-1, more focusing towards the B again. But you see Device again, very thorough, holding off that A push that initially he would have caught off Rain if this was one of those previous rounds. And he comes back over here. The pick does go Rain's way again towards Glaive. But this is the very extreme example of how paranoid Astralis are exactly that a flank could be coming in. So this is round 8. A couple of rounds later, they did lose one, and then they've won one back themselves. But look at how thorough Device is. They're sitting behind smokes right now. They're not sitting there like we saw in the 2 previous rounds, lining up Molotovs, lining up smokes to bombard that B site. Device thinks, okay, they've applied a bit of pressure right now, and they may be coming back. Even though a 5v4, you should technically, if you're playing super fundamental CS, not be flanking. They could still be doing it, getting information, because Astralis executes can be very hard to deal with. So him and Zipex coming over here, they want to clear out everything. Maybe throw a little bit of fake towards long, but they want to make sure there's no one close by, no one attempting something we saw Rain do earlier on. They're not. Faze are playing very passive in this one, but notice they're not really achieving much. They didn't grab any control over towards A. They don't know if anyone's playing Playground right now. And even further, Zipex goes down into Connector. They want to check all these different routes. They want to make sure, as they set up for this B take, there's no one close by, no one going to flank us out, and that we can, not what happened in round 4 and 5 happen again, and we can get our executing like we love to do, because, let's be honest, that's what Astralis love to do overall. So doing all this obviously winds the clock down. 20 seconds left. Not much time left at all for this take to come in. And Faze are here. They do a good job of defending this one off. Zipex does quite a good take coming in. Gets a couple of kills. Actually gets 1 or 2 Dupree. So 3 kills overall if you count that one. And he has to plant the bomb straight away. This becomes a big factor right now. If you didn't see it, Zipex planted the bomb with 4 seconds left on the clock. If this is Zipex with 40 seconds left, 30 seconds left, we know how good this guy is in the clutch. He can reposition, trying to find that 1 kill onto Carrigan or Rain, isolate the 1v1 and potentially win this. He has no choice because they wasted so much time checking their flank because they were so worried about it. But he is forced just to keep dropping smokes at his feet, and Rain and Carrigan just bombard him. He can't do anything, he gets stuck in the smoke, and he gets the bomb plant down, but that's really all he could hope for. So again, time becoming a factor now because of these first 2 rounds where Faze flanking in, and we're going to see moving forward that Faze, after those first 2 flanks, they just lay off this. They just think, we're cool for now, we've applied that pressure early on, and we'll just chill for the next 5-6 rounds. Hopefully you'll remember, but the last time we saw a flank come in from Faze was actually round 5. Astralis do a very good job of playing this more passive default. They want to punish any aggression from Faze. For maybe the next like 6-7 rounds, they do a very consistent default. I won't show them all. Obviously, round 8 was an extreme example for you, the most obvious one, but I thought it was the best one. Just get my point across. But rounds like that were played out over and over again for the next few rounds from Astralis. And we'll notice in round 14, Rain does exactly the same thing he did in round 4. So notice the fact he does it very early in the half and then very late in the half. Trusting the fact that Astralis would have potentially forgotten about the fact he's doing this, get more lax in their defaults, and we've said that's exactly what's happened. They want to set up for one of their B executes again, what they were trying to do in round 4 and 5, and they have done it. They've done it successfully. They're onto the site. But Rain keeps charging on through here. And this is the difference between his first flank and this flank here. So he gets his kill, and this is where he keeps going, because the rest of his team is all surrounding the site. Exist about to pop out here. Nico and Guardian obviously down here. So he wants to keep applying pressure, even though this is a 5v2. There's no point in him falling back out monster like we saw in the first clip. And of course, I also want you to just point out, hopefully you've worked out, the fact that Rain keeps running until he gets his first kill, such as in this one, he finds the first kill here, and then he makes a play. This one, finds the first kill on the bomb planner, and he makes his play again. So he just keeps moving until he finds that first kill. He does an important job here, just locks down this water position, the most likely spot that a player could be coming from. The players do start to move around, but honestly, not much they can do. And just the timing of these flanks is in terms of the round overall. Obviously, the timing is exactly the same as in the first one. He just rushed straight out towards that fountain area, as we know he loves to do. But round 4 to round 14, means there's much more likely that Astralis have forgotten about the fact that these aggressive pushes are coming in. Carrigan hasn't done anything since round 5. It's a very important factor overall when playing an entire half out as a team, such as Faze has in this one. All the way in overtime now, we're going to see another flank come in from Rain, actually an unsuccessful one, but we'll talk about more why that is and talk about Rain's timing, because it is still quite good overall. So Rain, very good at playing this toilets area, he's very good at getting aggressive in different positions, getting information for his team. Notice he smokes off a great cannon, this Molotov coming from Astralis. They want to apply pressure over here towards A, as they set up again for their B executes. All these flanks seem to come towards the B site. Maybe this was a game plan coming in from the Faze clan. But this comes in from Astralis, these nade bomb attacks, or I don't know what you call them, nade stacks. I've actually got a video on this coming soon, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to see, as this nade stack comes in, Rain decides to walk through this smoke over towards A. He knows, obviously, that a lot of nades thrown towards B, there can't be too many players potentially watching this A side of the map. So he gets in here, in towards connector, and he just sits there quite still. Notice he knows that no one's committed to the B site quite yet. It was just a good nade stack from Astralis. Different to Carrigan, where the execute was already coming in, so he could run straight down here and try and get in their back and get the 2 kills as we saw he did. So you're going to see, as this plays out, they are going to execute here towards the B site. And notice Magisk is checking his back right now. But if you pause it right now, you can see Magisk isn't fully committed to the fact that the B site attack is going on. Magisk can commit back here and shut off Rain, but Rain had a good timing. Again, such as Carrigan, he goes as this execute's coming in. Unfortunately, Nico and Carrigan both get shut down straight away entering this B site. So Rain's flank is a little bit late. Magisk knows my team's got it covered. I can come back and watch this connector area come through. But hopefully you understand the fact that of when Rain pushed through that smoke, and when he starts to move down here in a connector as the execute comes in from Astralis. If Nico and Carrigan are more successful here, take out the 2 players entering the site, Magisk could be forced to commit in here towards the B with the rest of his teammates, and he couldn't come back and swing back onto Rain. So Rain's timing was good in that regard, but the fact that the B hit comes in so effortlessly, almost from Astralis getting those 2 opening kills almost instantly, allows Magisk the luxury of coming back and taking out Rain. So that's why it's unsuccessful, mainly because of the B held overall. Nothing really wrong with what Rain did, and honestly, you can see all the timings behind it. He actually did think it out quite well. That's really about it for this one, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed IEM Sydney as well. Make sure to subscribe and like the video if you did enjoy it. And I'll catch you all in a later one.